there it is again. Please pay attention to the road. I was paying attention to the road just fine. It seems that it's a lot more sensitive with 10.5. Hey guys, John here. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great holiday. It is Sunday. I've been using Full Self-Driving Beta now for a little over a month, and I did not have the pleasure to take my Tesla all the way to Michigan to see my family, so I was with a gas vehicle or an ICE vehicle, and that was really strange there. It changed lanes, then it went right back into the right lane. Don't know why it did that. But I really missed having the autopilot feature on the highway. Definitely wasn't the same. Okay, now here it's supposed to get in the right. This is the second time I'm going past this, and it's still not doing it. So I think that was a lucky day when it actually got over to the right correctly. I don't think that was 10.5 entirely. I think that was just based on a little bit of luck. So here I am driving manually. It did not get over fast enough, so I had to take over. All right, and turning it back on. So I have not done a very good job of iterating to everybody in my videos. These videos are being taken in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I am driving a 2019 Model 3. It's a long-range rear-wheel drive Model 3. So here's something really strange. On this drive, I had two please pay attention to the road warnings pop up. I was totally not expecting them. In this case here, this is the first instance. And as you can see, I'm paying full attention to the road and I still got the message. Okay, so I had to push it forward and it's still yet, here again, it's slowing down for this intersection. Some sort of issue there. I just recorded a snapshot and sent that over to Tesla. Every time it goes through that intersection, it has a really hard time for some reason. So here's another case where I actually take a long pause to gaze off to the right side. And then just before the car starts moving, I look back forward again and my eyes and my head are full on paying attention to the road, but I still get the message pop up. So it's not completely evident to me what triggers this message, but just as a precaution to avoid any further occurrences, I did take my hat off, and from then on, I did not receive any further messages. All right, so well done. It just pulled over 2 lanes of traffic to get in the far right turn lane, and the green arrow is on. Let's see if it maneuvers this through this intersection just fine. Okay, well done. Yes, and then now it needs to get in the far left lane fairly quickly. Thank goodness there's no traffic behind us. And there's the second one. Needs to pull over even one more. All right, there we are. And let's see if it can complete this turn successfully here. Yes, okay, very well done. All right, this is my favorite part of the test, to see if it can get us out of the parking lot without doing anything. So I am ready to go. You can see the tentacle, which tells the direction of the car. It's going to the right mostly, I'd say 90% of the time, 95% of the time. And then every so often it goes to the left. But realistically, if I were driving manually, I would go left. So we're going to see where it goes to get us out. This is correctly notated on here. It does need to go out here in the back because there is an exit there. But then the tricky part is it has to get, immediately after it turns right, it needs to get in the left turn lane. So that is a very difficult maneuver, only possible if there's really no cars or if it gets over to the left right away. So we're going to go ahead and put it to the test here. Okay, so it is going right, and it's going to hopefully steer itself out of this parking lot. It's going up through the gas station. not exactly the right path here. And then trying to turn right, I think, or, okay. Yeah, I'm going to call that a failure. So it did not get out of the parking lot the way that it should have. I'm going to have to tell it to do this. I'm going to have to get it situated here. So it's hit or miss whether it can do that. And I kind of had it aligned in the wrong spot to begin with, kind of putting it to the real test. But let me get it situated here correctly and then turn it on. Okay, so here we're going to see if it can do this. It's going to be a very tough maneuver. Really not expecting that it's going to pull this off. Okay, there are no cars, so it does have a chance. I'm going to nudge it forward. There's someone behind me. Okay, and it's not doing it. So it really needs to come all the way over here. I had to take over because it was not getting over to the far left. And again, I was not expecting that. That's a very tough maneuver. It should be able to do any situation like that. It should be able to handle, but I can fully understand the challenges involved with making that happen. So I'm going to give that one a pass for now. So we'll go ahead and turn it back on again here. Okay, and instantly it turns on the left turn signal and waits for the light to turn green. As I was driving earlier, I had my hat on and I kept getting a please pay attention to the road sign coming up. That is not a good thing. I took my hat off and it seems to not have come back, but it came pretty regularly within a short interval of time. So, and I wasn't really looking too far away from the vehicle, so I'm not sure why it was triggering that. Okay, it's taking its time here. I did intervene a little bit to push it forward and fully expecting it to make this turn just fine. As it just did there, not a problem, but a little bit timid to get started there. And now we're on this main road and it's dialing it in. So it is a 45 and here you're going to see it's going to jump up to 50. So there the speed limit's going to change to 45 and then the max changes automatically to 5 over. There it is again. Please pay attention to the road. I was paying attention to the road just fine. It seems that it's a lot more sensitive with 10.5. Something strange going on there. So I was looking at the screen, and it really probably didn't like that I was looking at the screen. I have to keep my head forward. It's becoming a lot more regular where I get that message. I was not getting that as often with 10.4. So the car saw that red Prius very well and slowed down. A lot harder of a brake than I would have done, but it did a very good job there. So what's interesting here is on the display you can see all these cars around me, but yet it only shows one car in front of me. It doesn't show any of the cars ahead of that car, which is strange because they're lined up in front of it. So that must be an indication that the cameras cannot see beyond that vehicle, which is strange. There is a truck in front of them with a big box inside of it, and I'm not sure why it's not picking that up. I just got lucky on that one. I turned my head as the car started moving and I did not get a message saying please pay attention to the road. But again, for any of the new beta testers out there, when your car is about to start moving after being at an intersection, if you're not looking forward at the road at the time the car moves, there's a high probability you will get that message. So just keep that in mind, because you want to minimize those as much as possible. All right, I've had mixed results here on this turn to be ready to take over. So intervening here to push it through. It was braking in the middle of the intersection again. It always struggles with that one for some reason. All right, so with just a little bit of sunshine left, we're gonna go ahead and take the car into downtown Schaumburg to Lou Malnati's Deep Dish Pizzeria. This is one of the best pizza restaurants in all of Chicagoland area. We're gonna see if it can pull us into the parking lot without any issues here. So I'm gonna have it go through some side streets to get there, and we'll see if it can enter the rather complicated parking lot to see where it takes us and drops us off. And it really, in almost every situation, when you dial in a destination, it takes you directly to that destination, even if it's far inside of a parking lot. In other words, if it's on the other side of the parking lot, it will maneuver all the way through or around the parking lot to get to that final destination. So that is going to be a little bit of the case here with this one. I'm just not sure if it will drop us off by the takeout windows or at the main entrance. So here, a rolling stop. I do have it in the assertive setting for full self-driving beta, and it made it through that intersection flawlessly, no issues there. And now we're going to come up here again on another four-way stop. We're going to see how well it handles this. Looks like we do have a little bit of traffic today, so it should be an interesting test. I have never had it fail at this intersection. It sometimes will hesitate too much a little bit and confuse other people, but the nature of four-way intersections, four-way stop intersections, is that they are confusing anyway as it is. So we're going right here, so I don't anticipate any issues. A van coming up on the left. Okay, these two cars, okay, and perfect. That was just the right thing to do. It was our turn, and no issues there. All right, and then this line, I love this road because it's freshly painted. It's super neat one to observe here. So it goes through some turns, and the turns with full self-driving beta are done very well, especially compared to without having full self-driving beta. There was some braking there. I don't know if it saw that person on the side of the street or if it was another car, but it definitely had a little bit of phantom braking there. I'm not sure what, again, like I said, it had caused that. But here's the turn, and it says you have to be 25 or lower. A lot of people go a little bit too fast through here, but 30 is fine. I'm going to let it do it just fine here, and going through, no problems. And then here, a little bit more of an aggressive turn, and it sees those cars on the side of the road, goes around them very well. No issues there. Okay, and then coming up on a school zone. It is a Sunday, but I think it's going to see this school speed limit here. So I'm going 30 right now. We're going to see if it slows down. So speed limit 20. Okay, ignoring the school zone. I don't know if it recognizes that it's a Sunday, but I have had areas in the past where it will slow down for a school zone. So it had no issues just going through at the regular speed there. I'll have to try that again when it's a school day. Okay, and 25 miles per hour, still the same speed limit here. Coming up on some construction on the right side of the road. Two other cars, they're going to pass by the time we go by it. You're going to see all these cones showing up, and no issues there. It did not move away from the construction or anything special there. All right, and now coming up to this light, and we're going to turn left. All right, so it's going to turn green here. There we go, green arrow, and moving forward very nicely. Nobody behind us at the moment. Okay. No jerkiness on the steering wheel. That was super hyper smooth. That was nice. Okay, and there we go. We change into the day, from the day mode into night mode. Apply slight force to the steering wheel. It's changing lanes to follow route. So as soon as this turns green, we can go. I'm going to step on the accelerator here just to demonstrate here that I can speed up as much as I want and the system will react. I mean, in other words, it doesn't behave any differently than if it was in manual mode. There's nobody behind us right now. We are very clear as far as traffic goes. So this is a beautiful time to be testing full self-driving beta. This is the perfect scenario when you don't have other drivers around, because as I've mentioned in other videos, it acts inappropriately sometimes and you do need to be ready to take over. So it looks like it's going to go straight here and then pull in, which is the appropriate thing to do here. If I were to turn right, there's another entrance there on the left. It would be a trickier maneuver. Now, there's still nobody behind us, but I'm sure by the time the light turns green here, we will have some other traffic. Okay, so they are right behind us. So be very aware of that here. And then as soon as the light turns green, I might scoot it forward a little bit faster. Okay, I'm not going to do anything. Let it do what it needs to do here. Okay, going. Okay, perfect. Turning on its right blinker. Okay, and it is turning right here. Okay, wow. See, now I never would have taken this route. I've actually never taken this route. I didn't know you could come this way. I would have taken the road a little bit further forward. Interesting. Okay, taking a right here. I also never would have done this. There's no traffic here. Autopilot creeping forward. This is definitely where you would intervene if someone was behind you. Okay, and then coming up here, I'm assuming it's going to turn right into here. That's interesting. It's going to take us back out on the main road. So it sees the entrance to this pizza restaurant as being right on the main road, which is strange because you can't park there. So, you know, I normally would have taken over there. So it's got its right blinker on. And now we have a lot of traffic coming up. But yeah, it's gonna attempt to stop right on the main road, right next to this restaurant. So I'll let it get out in the road. We'll just see how well it gets out here. But then I'm immediately gonna take over. So I cannot see anything. I don't know why it hasn't pulled up more. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay, and then let's just see, does it actually go? No, it doesn't. So it says, hey, we're here, which technically we are. So I would call that a successful trip there. So I'm gonna put it back in this lane and we're gonna navigate back to my home here. Turn on the left blinker, and while it's doing that, now that I'm dialed in, I am going to turn full self-driving beta back on. Now here's something fascinating. I'm at the front of the line. There's nobody in front of me. In fact, I'm far enough forward where I highly doubt the cameras can see the lines. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Okay, there it did not go. I was ready to take over because I would have hit these cars straight away. But it let me turn it on, and I'm going to see how well it does here. I have heard about situations where if you turn it on at the last minute, it has a hard time kind of knowing where to go. And I'm especially skeptical here being at the front of the line if it's going to know exactly how to do this intersection. So we're going to find out here. Okay, so any moment here. Okay, it is our turn and we're going. There's nobody in back of us. And did that very well. Okay, nicely done. And going straight here. Okay, so I'm in the left lane and someone is coming up behind me, changing lanes to follow route. Okay, interesting that it's not doing it to get out of the passing lane. There is a person in back of me, so I'm going to force it to the right to get out of their way because it does look like they want to push 50 miles an hour. They definitely want to go faster than me, it looks. So they are actually not passing me by. I thought for sure they wanted to move past me. Okay, they are now creeping forward. So interesting, it didn't get over sooner. It attempted to, as you noticed there, and then it's like it lost its way. Sometimes it will get confused in the middle of a turn and go back into the lane that it's already driving in. And that had been the same case with just regular autopilot. It would behave that way when you manually told it to change lanes. Now what's nice is that on the side streets with full self-driving beta, it will change lanes automatically for you. And here we go. It's turning right here on Salem Drive. All right, well done there. Nice, nice, okay. But yes, with autopilot and without having full self-driving beta, if you would initiate a lane change, sometimes if it didn't see the lines well enough, or if it got confused, or there was some other variable that came into play, it would abort and go back into the lane that it was already straight in. And that was exactly the same situation there. It's just I didn't initiate the turn signal, the car did, and it got confused and went right back. And I think that could have angered the person behind me, but thankfully they weren't pressing too hard. But that's a situation where you definitely would have to take over normally. If they had been tailgating me really badly, I would have taken over for sure. The car should not have behaved like that. And it really, I was about to tell it to move into the right lane anyway. Just probably should have initiated a little bit sooner. All these variables that you have to contend with all these manual drivers. And that's the biggest challenge with full self-driving right now for anybody. Any autonomous vehicle has to be able to react to human manual drivers around them. And that is absolutely, without a doubt, the hardest situation to solve for, is the unpredictability of human drivers. And that's what makes this such a challenging, engineering feat to complete, because it's very, very difficult to account for every, what they call edge case. And there's a lot of edge cases. Some edge cases are more normal than others. And it's just a matter of, how many edge cases are there and which ones are higher priority than others to account for. It's so difficult to make those judgment calls as the manufacturer of this software. And that's what is so incredible to me, because it's not spelled out how it reacts in certain situations. You have to experience it and witness it to figure out how it's going to behave. And until you have that experience, you're never going to understand. And that's what makes it scary, is some people that will get this software in the future, they just assume that it's going to handle all of those situations. And that assumption is not correct. And that's where Tesla's going to have a very hard time. It needs to be flawless in every situation before they can allow the general public to use it. And in my opinion, to actually accomplish that is similar to accomplishing a miracle. And it's just, in my opinion, not going to happen. And I wish there was some more transparency there. So here we come. Slowing down. That was well done there. Very well played. But yeah, the transparency, especially with bug releases, any software updates, there's not a whole lot of detail, and it's hard to know how the car is going to behave. So it's just something you have to learn along with the car. The car is learning, you're learning, everybody's learning, we're all happy, kind of, sort of. Anyway, that completes our drive. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.